The title is "You're a Fucking Terrorist." HasanAbi, sexual, clashes with pro-Israel journalist. The capitalization in this is like it's causing my brain to hurt. I don't like that the word pro isn't capitalized. Not important, but just wanted to say that. I'm sure it's correct and everything, but I don't like it. It's making me mad.
Well, the war in Gaza has incensed communities across the world. Many Jewish people...
Considering how terrible the response was to me saying I've watched like 2 or 3 Crackhead Barney videos and liked them, I'm assuming what she does in the next like 5 minutes is going to be terrible. So...
say they don't feel safe on the streets of Western cities. Many Muslims feel the horror facing innocent Palestinians is treated only as a second-class concern. And as with any emotive cause, a lot of people with no dog in the fight have moulded this crisis into a familiar battle of good versus evil, oppressors versus oppressed. Hysterical scenes at some of America's top universities this week have generated more coverage and commentary than the war itself in the last 2 weeks. Columbia says that all in-person classes are now cancelled until the end of the semester. Arrests have been made at encampments outside NYU and Yale. Well, one notable Jewish professor at Columbia shared a video of Muslims praying as if it was a shocking assault on US values. Many badly informed pro-Palestine demonstrators, meanwhile, have called for an intifada and chanted, "We love Hamas." Others believe that synchronized dancing is a long-lost secret to peace in the Middle East. Well, these people are all spending $80,000 a year on tuition, but clearly many of them haven't found Wikipedia amidst virtue-signaling fever.
Wikipedia. Everyone knows every intellectual uses Wikipedia.
It's now emboldening a growing number of people to confront public figures. There's simply no connection to the war. This was New York Mayor Eric Adams, berated for supporting genocide as he took his seat on a flight.
Hey, Eric Adams? Yeah, you! You support the genocide in Palestine. There are homeless people all over New York. You're always partying. You don't actually care about the citizens of New York.
What I'm about to say might be alarming to some people, but I don't think anyone would disagree, and if you do, you're too weak for this stream. Number 1, TBQH, this shit has been happening to every New York mayor since forever. Okay? It kind of comes with the territory. You don't run for New York mayor unless you're down to deal with New Yorkers, and all of them will do this shit to you. Second of all, I personally think this should be happening to all mayors. I mean, she's not assaulting him or anything. They are literally called public servants for a reason. Okay? Find your representative and bother the shit out of them. It's your constitutional right to be like, you're a piece of shit and I fucking hate you and you don't do anything for this city. Okay? Don't assault anyone. Don't go to jail because you can't resist the fact that a lot of people, especially politicians, have very punchable faces. Don't do that. But go fucking berate your public servants, man. Go berate them. It's their job to deal with you screaming at them, okay? That's literally their job, okay? That's their job, all right? And you should bother them. That's all I'm going to say.
People cannot afford food. You keep cutting the education budget so you can fund the police.
And this so-called performance artist has dominated timelines for days after achieving what previously seemed impossible, an outpouring of public sympathy for Alec Baldwin by doing this.
You're putting innocent people in jail, Alec Baldwin. I'm so sorry. Free Palestine, Alec, just one time, and I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone, I swear. Just say free Palestine one time. One time. One time.
Call the police.
One time, Alec. You know he's a criminal. You know he's a criminal. Come on, Alec. Just say free Palestine one time. Israel, Zionism. Please say it. One time.
Could you do me one quick favor?
One time.
So does any of this...
Okay, so... some quick notes. Number 1 is, I'm pretty sure from what I read online, there's a lot of stuff that's happening before this video that's really bad. And like she was like instigating for a long time. Not great. Probably not great. Second of all, I'm going to be honest, Alec Baldwin is one of those people where like, it's kind of like Pandora's box. I just don't want to look into it because I know once I start, I won't be able to stop. And I don't feel like my life is going to be better doing it. Like, I don't feel like I will be better off in life looking into everything known about Alec Baldwin. Which he's still on trial for? Yeah, he's the guy who, like, did he misfire a gun or something and he killed someone or something? Like, I don't know. It's just, again, it's one of those things where it's like, I just don't want to know more. It's kind of like Christian. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't. My life is better not knowing. My life is better not knowing. I don't want to know. I don't want to know more. Don't say that name. Why do you think I whispered it? I don't know who that is. Shh. Good. If you don't know, I'm telling you for a fact. It'll help you stay sane to not know. So, yeah, Alec Baldwin is in that category for me where I'm like, Also, in general, like, you harassing or whatever you want to call it, trolling, I don't really care. You going and bothering somebody, especially like an actor or a singer about something, it's like, it's not going to make them suddenly say Free Palestine. It's not going to do anything, right? It's just kind of like you're just farming them for content, which I guess is fine or whatever. Sure, why not? But, like, don't get me wrong. Okay, don't tell the Swifties I'm saying this. But, like, the fact that Taylor Swift has just chosen to not say anything about Palestine. Cringe. Let's just say it's cringe. Let's say it's cringe. We're going to tell. No, guys, don't tell. Don't tell. Cutie, do something. No. Cutie's on her way to kill you. Dude, she could do it. You wouldn't last a moment in the asylum I was raised in. Or whatever. Is that the line? Is that the... All I know is that she made a new album or something. I think it's all I understand, but it's not. It's okay, Denim. I'm sorry. I'm not in the know with white women culture. Okay, but leave me alone. Leave me alone. My life is hard enough. All right, I'm a streamer. It's a 7 out of 10 album. I mean, I just like the people that get mad about Taylor Swift for reasons that are really stupid. Where it's like, Taylor Swift is going to be 50 with no kids. It's like, okay. Why am I supposed to care about this? This is so stupid. Did you see that one post that was like, the reason women love Taylor Swift is because she embodies frigid behavior towards men. It's like, what the fuck are you people even talking about? Like, genuinely, like, what is this tweet? This one? Millennial women idolize Taylor Swift because she exudes frigidity, and they love the idea of being successful without ever having to give any sexual enjoyment to a man. And it's quote tweeting the infamous dance from Taylor Swift. I thought we agreed that this was just white people. I thought it was just that. I thought it was just... Have we not been making the white people dancing joke and not knowing how to dance joke for forever? What does this have to do with, like, giving sexual enjoyment to a man. She's just going goblin mode. Huh? Which I gotta say, I thought we all were whores who wanted to do OnlyFans and benefit unfairly off our sexuality. Which one is it, man? Which one? No. Stop, Radskull, stop. Okay, we're done. Okay, all right, we're done. Back to the video.
Make a difference.
Also, again, I'm pretty sure the pasties are fine. The Crackhead Barney pasties are fine because there's lots of women on Twitch who do body painting and they basically use pasties. So I think it should be fine.
Demonstrators forcing the rich and powerful to confront and condemn the horrors of war? Or is it a wave of self-indulgent protest, just distracting us from the deadly serious realities of a grim ongoing war? In a moment, I'll debate all that with Hasan Piker, Emily Austin, Esther Cracker and James Barber. First, I'm joined by Alec Baldwin's antagonist there, who calls herself Crackhead Barney. Well, welcome to Uncensored.
Hey, Piers! I've been waiting for you, Piers fucking Morgan!
Okay.
I wore my diaper today for you, Piers. Do you like it?
Not particularly, no. Do you want to sit down?
And Piers, can you bring me to Buckingham?
I gotta say one thing, which is that the writers this season for this thing that we're calling not a simulation, but it's totally a simulation. I appreciate that the writers finally wrote in a crazy woman. Because it's always a man doing this. It's always like Sam Hyde doing this. It's always, you know, so I'm appreciating the diversity and the wokeism that we finally have an insufferable crazy woman. Because this is kind of like, we've been missing it. You know, women's rights and wrongs. All right? Okay, so that's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to say, I appreciate the writers being a little bit woke this season.
Palace, I would like to meet the Queen.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'd really like to meet the Queen.
I don't think the Queen, if you mean Queen Camilla, she is probably tied up with royal engagements at the moment.
You know, the best part of this, though, is that she totally did get on his platform and did not engage with him in a serious way. Whatever she's cooking is beyond my comprehension.
The Queen who
Yo,
died.
well, get me in, Piers.
Yeah.
Get me fucking in, Piers. I want it.
Okay, can I take you back, if I may, to what you did to Alec Baldwin? Can you explain why you did it?
What did I do to Alec Baldwin? Piers, do you see the damage that Alec did to me? Do you see the damage? Look at my arms. Look at my arms, Piers. Look at my neck. I was maimed by a white man on Monday. You're telling me what I did?
No, you weren't maimed by Alec Baldwin on Monday, were you?
I was maimed.
No, you weren't.
My hand is broken. My neck is broken.
No, it's
my
not.
legs. Look at my legs. My legs don't work. Look at this. Piers. Piers, are you another white devil? Piers Morgan. Don't do this to me, Piers. It's too early in the morning, Piers. Piers, it's too early.
Not the wig.
Your wig's come off.
It's not a wig, Piers. It's my...
Okay, all right. I gotta say something. Credit to her for one thing, okay? Because I get it. She's posting cringe. That's her whole thing. I understand. But credit to her for one thing, which is that he is struggling to keep a straight face. And that is actually pretty impressive, okay? Pretty impressive. Is it still deranged what she's doing? Yes. Is it still insane? Yes. Is she losing subscriber for posting cringe? Maybe. I'm not sure. I haven't checked her sub count. But you can see him struggling to not crack a smile.
My hair. I'm a white woman. I identify as a white woman.
Let me ask you seriously, if I may, for a moment, because you're trying to make a serious point,
Yes.
I presume, with Alec Baldwin. He was getting a coffee. You run in, you call him a killer.
I was getting a coffee too.
Okay, but you decided
I was
to...
getting a coffee
Okay,
too.
you don't have to shout at me as well. We can have a civilized conversation. I want to know seriously...
I'm very civil.
I wanted to know seriously why you did what you did and what you hope to gain by it.
Piers fucking Morgan, You're asking too
Just for the
many
record, my
questions.
name is actually just Piers
What's
Morgan.
wrong with saying free Palestine? Piers, can you say free Palestine for me?
I think
Piers, can you say free Palestine for me?
if you stop shouting, yeah.
I want you to say it.
Yes, I'm happy to say.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm not going to shout.
If you just,
Mr. Pierce Morgan,
if you just
please
keep
say
quiet,
free
I can answer your
Palestine.
question. Yes, I'm very happy to say
I'm
that.
never quiet, Pierce.
Sorry, you're still talking.
I'm never quiet.
Okay, but try.
I'm never
Otherwise,
quiet,
I can't.
Pierce. I cannot
You asked me to
shut
do
up.
something. If you don't.
I'm just saying, she did just say that she identifies as a white woman. So this is in character. Okay, I am never quiet. All things considered.
Shut up. I can't give you the answer.
Oh my God.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'll shut up for you.
I absolutely believe that Palestine should be free. Yes.
Oh, okay. And how are we going to do that, Pierce? Give us the answers, Pierce Morgan. Give us the fucking answers.
Yeah,
how are we going to make Palestine free?
Yeah, if it was as simple
How
as
are we
me.
going to do it?
If it was as simple as me just giving a simple answer now, it would have been done by now. It's a very complicated issue. But let me ask you again. Let me ask you again, seriously, why did you do what you did to Alec Baldwin, and what did you hope to achieve?
Alec Baldwin, look at me. Pierce, honestly. Pierce, look at my body. Look at this. Look at me. Pierce, I was maimed by a white man.
Listen,
Oh, man. Oh, man. I can see why you guys said what you said, but also, you all failed to recognize something, which is I like modern art, all right? I was one of the people that was like, what is that? A stupid toilet? It's not art. And then I realized, oh, it's so art. It's so art. And that's exactly what this is. Making a mockery of something that is already a joke is an art form. It's like, oh, you want to be civil. And I'm not saying that she herself is coming up with all these ideas on her own or whatever, but I have respect for it as an art form of like, you want to be civil and you want to pretend like all of this is complicated, but I'm going to be as dumb as you're being, except I'm going to be this way explicitly. Doing it with a straight face, struggling not to make him laugh. And then there's a separate aspect of it on a completely different regard, which is that it feels like female nudity is always sexual. And I have a lot of respect for all women who are capable of engaging in female nudity and somehow magically removing it from sexuality. And that's what this is here. So I can see why everyone thinks it's cringe. And it is cringe. Objectively, it's very cringe. Not funny at all. But man, there's definitely aspects that I appreciate.
I understand you're a performative artist. I understand you're trying to make everybody laugh. You've made your joke about your terrible main.
And yes, everyone's saying it's quiet. It's because I don't want to hear Crackhead Barney screaming in my fucking ears when she's not on the screen anymore. I'm gonna turn the volume up to a normal volume, okay?
Right, you're lashing me.
Right, okay, I'm not lashing you.
I was beaten. This is the third white man to beat me this week.
Right.
Third white man. Yesterday, my white boyfriend beat the shit out of me. This is the third white man. Monday was Alec. The second day was another white man. Third day, Piers Morgan is beating me up on international TV. Oh my God. Piers, you're hurting me. Piers, you're really hurting me right now.
You see, here's my problem.
Hurting me.
Here's my problem with your performative art, Crackhead, is I don't see what good you're doing the cause of Palestine. All you're doing is turning the whole war into a joke.
You're really hurting me. This war is not a joke.
Well, why are you making it such a mockery? Explain to me.
How am I making a mockery? How?
Because you're making it all about you and your silly pranks, and you're trying to have fun.
All of you are like
and actually, behind all this is a very serious war going on.
Me? I'm always serious. I'm always serious. You're hurting me right now, Pierre.
Right.
Like you're hurting Fox and your kids.
Are you going to explain why you did what you did to Alec Baldwin or not?
I got hurt. I'm a victim. I'm a victim, Pierre. Like a fucking Zionist, I'm a victim. All of you. You're hurting.
It's a pretty accurate satire, to be honest, that Zionist girl going on Fox to talk about how she was stabbed in the eye. Yeah, it's like, again, I don't know if it's intentional or how much of it is intentional, but like, it's really holding up a mirror to like, oh, you think I'm making this into a joke when like, really, what are you doing? Sitting here hiding behind semantics on why you can't say free Palestine. Except no one is going to think that. Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. Those people weren't going to be convinced by anything anyways, right? The average like Piers Morgan that viewer that watches this is already predisposed to not being like pro-Palestine anyways. It's not like this was going to change their mind, right?
Another white man.
Okay, you know, you see, the trouble with this performative art is it's not funny. You've got one gag that you've been maimed by Baldwin, which you haven't. What you haven't explained to the audience, and I've given you the chance repeatedly, is why you did what you did and why you think what you're doing now does anything but make a mockery of all these people dying in Gaza. Because that's what you're doing.
Look, Piers, you're trying to spin this into some bullshit. I know exactly what you're doing, Piers.
No,
I know
no,
your tactics.
you are.
You're
You
British.
are.
You're fucking annoying. You eat tea and crumpets. You have your pinky in the fucking air. You salute the queen. Fuck the crown. Fuck Buckingham Palace. Now I'm getting angry. Because, Piers, this is what you do.
Oh, now you're getting angry.
You set people up for shit.
Now you're getting angry.
Yeah, you set people up for shit. I know exactly what you do, Piers. I know exactly because I do it too, Piers.
Yeah.
And I have a fucking audience, Piers. You think you could set me up, Piers? Listen, Piers.
I think you know what I think. I think you're
What,
frankly.
say it, Piers.
I think honestly, Crackhead, you are honestly pathetic.
Yes.
This is
And
one
you're
of the
calling
most
a black woman a
pathetic things I've ever had to endure
And you're calling me a
in
crackhead.
the long, illustrious history
You're
of
calling a
uncensored.
black woman a crackhead.
That's your name.
You're calling me.
That's your name on
am
your
I a
Twitter
bigger bitch
feed.
than-
You call yourself
Piers, am I a bigger
Crackhead.
bitch than Megan? Piers, am I a bigger bitch than Meghan
Are
Markle?
you?
Please,
Look, I'm going to give you a
bigger.
final chance. Are you going to actually answer the question of why you did what you did to Ali Baldwin?
No, Piers, I have a question. Am I a bigger bitch than Meghan Markle? Because, Buckingham Palace was complaining about the black girl, and I want to be that black girl.
Okay.
I want to be that black girl.
You know what,
I got
Crackhead?
touched by a white man.
I tried to give you a hearing. You're not going to take it seriously.
No,
I actually
Piers,
think
you
you're
didn't
doing.
try anything.
You may want to
didn't
shout.
try anything,
Yeah, you may
Piers.
want to shout and scream
All
at
you're
Ali
just
Baldwin.
hurting my
All right.
feelings.
I think we've heard enough of Crackhead, to be honest with you. All right, let's bring in my panel. Streamer Hasan Piker, journalist Emily Austin.
Look, they're trying not to laugh. These two. The whites are trying not to laugh. Oh, gosh. I get why people didn't like it. I understand. Totally understand. She's in like a category of, I don't know what the fuck this is, and I don't know how to feel about it, but it's very different. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's good. What she's cooking is beyond my comprehension. And I think maybe like a decade from now, we will treat it like Borat, where some people are going to hate it and some people are going to love it. And I guess we'll find out. Or like Andy Kaufman. Yeah. I mean, she's trying something, which is more than a lot of people could say. I liked her shitting on Eric Adams in public. This is worse than productive because it's too abstract. Doesn't achieve much besides a good laugh for many, but for different reasons. It's got layers. Yeah. It feels like a skit straight from Eric Andre. You know what? I think that's what is missing as like a disconnect for a couple people, which is try and imagine if that was Eric Andre's. Andre's? Why did I make his name plural? Try and imagine if that's Eric Andre. If that was an Eric Andre like skit or an Eric Andre segment. Eric Andre also likes to dress in diapers. That is 100% Eric Andre, but he would have shit in his diaper. A good laugh is still good. She isn't being a negative factor given the media literally Bubba Zionists. I mean, I'm not wrong. I don't think it's good to use Palestinian liberation to make that bit work. I mean, she's not using Palestinian liberation to make the bit work. She does the bit all the time, everywhere. Right? She's just continuing the bit that she does everywhere all the time with regard to Palestine. So her audio quality needs improvement before anyone will no. Dude, have you seen Kai's stream? Have you seen Kai Sinat's stream? I love this chatter. I'm sorry. I know he got banned immediately, but hey, Denims, why don't you go back to your old job as a door-to-door sales spacebar man and stop ruining Twitch with your Muslim propaganda?
DNM Hey.
It's saleswoman. All right? Excuse you. Unbelievable the lack of respect people put around here. Were you actually in sales? Yes. Yes. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. Those were dark times, man. Those were dark times. Roger, thank you so much for the 7 months. Thank you. The first 3 comments are even funnier. Hey, y'all. Hope you're having a good bloody day. Or sorry, a bloody good day. Oh, he's a Brit. He's an oi bruv. What's wrong in Joe helping Israel? It was Iran who attacked first, okay? Woman. Okay, I guess. Okay. Yeah. You have to do it with the accent. You don't want to see my accent. It's not good. It's not good. The point of this is that what she's doing is what Piers is doing, all in reverse. Many guests, especially guests on the left, are feeling what Piers is feeling right now. And it makes sense in a few minutes once Hasan debates both Piers and that Emily lady. Yeah. 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 Again, it's just like, maybe I'm just too art-brained, but it feels a lot like she's just kind of mocking the guise and the veneer of civility by saying like, yeah, fuck off. At the end of the day, you're not going to say free Palestine. You can come up with as many excuses as you want, and I'm not going to let you do it. I'm just going to keep interrupting you, but you're not going to say it. It's very complicated. It's very complicated. Okay. But I also understand why people don't like it. It's not supposed to be for everybody. I don't know if funny is the point. Yeah, and I think that's the other thing. I think people are expecting it to be funny, and the goal is not to be funny. It's almost like I feel like the goal is to be absurd, I guess. But again, also, I understand why people don't like it, and I understand why people think she's cringe and all that other stuff. It's supposed to be outlandish? Yeah. Yeah. Cocaine cranium Barney highlights performative and dishonest nature of all media, especially so-called debate shows which do not advance anything. Yeah, which like somebody said in here, yeah, but how is she even helping the cause? Well, how is any of this helping the cause? This just has the veneer and is pretending to help the cause. But it's helping just as much as she was helping, right? Not to be an optics Andy, I think it just looks bad. I imagine my parents seeing that and thinking what their takeaway would be. Wow, look, these people are crazy. Yeah, but they say that about everything. Like, they see Hasan and they think that he's crazy. And they're like, look at this guy. I bet he thinks we should have Hamas in the U.S. What she's doing is what will happen once Hasan starts making points in the interview. Yeah, yeah. To be fair, Hasan is crazy. Okay, but he's crazy because he's addicted to streaming. All right? Anyways. Oh, sorry. Anyways, I'm not trying to convince anyone. Like I said, I'm not trying to convince anyone. If you disliked it, if you liked it, I don't, yeah. You literally convinced me, I'm not gonna lie. My goal on stream is never to convince anyone. My goal is just to talk, okay? My goal is to be a woman, all right? That's my goal, which I achieve my goal every day. That's my goal. Let's actually see the real debate.
Uncensored contributor.
Let's raise the volume.
And podcaster James Barr. Well, Emily, I mean, on one level, I guess it was quite funny, but on another level, I didn't like what she did to Alec Baldwin. I've got no truck for Alec Baldwin whatsoever. And I think with this case that he's got hanging over him, I hope that justice is served, because ultimately he did fire the gun that killed that poor woman and has been on some kind of weird PR tour ever since. But I don't like to see any public figure, whether it's Eric Adams, the mayor, on a plane, or Alec Baldwin getting a coffee, harangued and harassed in that manner.
Disagree.
Now, I tried to conduct a series.
It is always morally acceptable to record your the people you vote into office. It is always morally acceptable to record those people and say whatever is on your fucking mind. It is their job to listen to you. Now, I think anyone else, especially non-public figures, if you are ever recording someone who is not a public figure and they're just minding their own business, you're a piece of shit, okay? Recording someone who just said a slur and you're like, oh, say it again, say it. Oh, you were down to say it the first time, say it again. Okay, cool, great. They're just some person that's existing, minding their own business, doing whatever the fuck they want to do. You're kind of a piece of shit to record that person. Also, recording cops. Cops are also allowed to be recorded whenever you want, okay? The second they don that suit, they should know that they are accepting the great, powerful responsibility of being recorded.
Interview. She obviously wasn't interested in doing that, wanted to turn the whole thing into a foul-mouthed rant and joke and performative thing. Fine. That's entirely her right to do it. But what did you think of these harassings, not just by her, but by other people, of public figures?
You tried to conduct a serious interview with Crackhead Barbie?
Well, no, I was asking her about a viral video of her harassing Alec Baldwin, which I do actually think is a serious thing. I do actually think public figures should not be harassed in that manner. I've had a bit of it myself, and I think it crosses a line, right? And Alec Baldwin, you know, as far as I'm aware, has not said anything particularly sensational about the war at all. So why she is harassing him in the street in the way that she did, I think is worthy of examination. Wow. Now, as it turned out, she had no interest in having a serious conversation. Okay, so we've cut it off.
No way.
I don't think I should be blamed for getting on someone.
The lady who showed up in pasties and a diaper with white face, who calls herself Crackhead Barney, wasn't interested in a serious interview. Oh my God.
Who is literally at the center of a quite big news story in America for harassing a famous star. You, Hasan?
No, it was for clout. She was doing it for clout. That's why she went on the show, also for clout, right. Which you were correct on pointing out that using the ongoing ethnic cleansing campaign in Gaza and what's happening to the Palestinian people as a vehicle to create more social clout for yourself, social capital for yourself is pretty disingenuous, pretty messed up.
I have to jump in there, though, because isn't that what everybody's doing? Isn't that what this show is also doing? Because you're talking about create political clout, create noise,
I'll come back
to get clicks, to make money.
Listen, let's not all be disingenuous.
No,
right?
but the whole conversation, and actually Crackhead Barney isn't that different to you.
Well, actually,
and Crackhead Barney...
I mean, can I say something? Can I say that, like, everyone who's showing up here is showing up on some level for clout, but the thing is, clout is not... It's like propaganda. It's not positive or negative. It's neutral. It's how you use your clout, right? Hasan uses his clout to raise millions of dollars for charity. Him showing up on a show to get clout for good, that's great. But I'm not going to sit here and, like, you know, lie and be like, Hasan would never do anything for clout ever. No, it's about where you're doing it. But also, this is not really relevant to the conversation. It's not important.
said it herself. She said, we're no different. And I kind of agree with Crackhead Barney. I didn't think I'd say it.
If you think there's any correlation between what she just did on the show...
someone screaming over someone and not letting them speak. Right. There's definitely a correlation.
Well, you think that I've treated you like she treated Ali Baldwin?
No, I'm just saying that I think that actually you aren't that different. You're trying to do the same thing.
I've come back to that.
You're just doing it in a different way.
No, it's a preposterous...
I agree with this guy. I agree with this guy on calling Piers Morgan out for using it for clout. Because he was using her for clout just as much as she was using him for clout. I don't know what his politics are, and I don't know if he's based or cringe, but it's just accurate. It's just an accurate statement. Also, Dreamcatcher, thank you so much for the 20 months.
Suggestion. I do not do what she does, right? But Hasan, here's the point I would make to you. A lot of people think a lot of these protesters at universities in America are performative. The ones who are chanting their support for Hamas, the ones who are chanting about intifada and pretending it's not about a violent uprising. I mean, do you accept that a lot of that is not only performative, but public demonstration of support for terrorism?
Absolutely not. I don't think that, I mean, all protests are technically performative, obviously, but there's a very clear-cut goal for the group of students at Columbia and many other universities. I was in Melbourne not that long ago, and I attended a Palestinian protest there, a Palestinian rally there, and the students there were also demanding the exact same thing, that they divest, their colleges divest from a lot of the companies that are aligned with the state of Israel, a lot of the companies that are directly involved in operations in the West Bank, a lot of the companies that are playing a role in the regular maintenance of the apartheid regime of Israel and helping Israel conduct an ethnic cleansing campaign. That is the ultimate goal. That is why they're trying to very clearly cause a little bit of a disruption and engage in.
But are you comfortable? Okay, but are you comfortable?
The most American thing you can do.
Are you comfortable with the ones who are seen chanting support for Hamas or chanting about intifada?
I am perfectly comfortable with people chanting about the intifada. As far as the Hamas thing goes, any kind of protest is always going to have a litany of random people, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. You have to look at the actual tangible goals that the protest movement is stating they are interested in. And I think that those goals, and I think you will agree with me on this, Piers, I think those goals are pretty valid overall. I think that they want to, one, recenter the attention to the genocide that is ongoing in Gaza, and two, demand that their tuition dollars do not go to operations in Israel. I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's a campus. There's going to be a sister campus that is being built in Tel Aviv right now for Columbia University. This means that Columbia University, which once housed the likes of the late, great Edward Said and many others, and that currently has many Palestinian students who pay tuition for projects such as this one, will not be able to go to that sister campus. I find that abhorrent, but it's everyday existence in Israel.
Let me bring in Emily. You've been listening to all this. Your response?
With all due respect, Hasan, why do you feel that Columbia, or any college for that matter, owes you to divest from Israel? Why do you think your opinion is correct? Because so far, I heard the classic buzzwords: apartheid, discriminatory, ethnic cleansing, and genocide, which is funny because it's all the...
Why is she making this about Hasan? Aren't, like, the students who are going to these colleges and giving them money, if they're the ones giving the money, don't they have a right to decide where the money goes? Not like a right necessarily, because that's not accurate, but like, I feel like if I was giving my money somewhere, I would want to fight. What does that have anything to do with a voice? Yeah, there we go. That's a better term. That's a better term. That's a better term. Wait. Someone mentioned something. This is Someone mentioned that like the commentary might be better. The commentary version of this might be better. So I kind of wanted to watch that. If you guys don't mind. Because I am kind of curious what the thought process was behind some of these things.
And to
Joey, thank you so much for the 14 months.
Recenter the attention back to its
With all due respect, Hasan, why do you feel
anything thought it was going to that she said here? Because I let her go. I let her cook. I wanted to, you know, I thought it was going to be point, counterpoint, point, counterpoint. So you'll notice when I snap.
I think your opinion is correct? Because so far, I heard the classic buzzwords: apartheid, discriminatory, ethnic cleansing, and genocide, which is funny because it's all the exact opposite. So if I may ask you, what about Israel is apartheid? You also just said the students in Israel, the campus in Israel would not allow Palestinians to join. Are you confused, or do you know nothing about the country of Israel? Because let me remind you, Jews are not allowed in the West Bank and Gaza. However, Arabs have full Israeli citizenship, have the rights, are members of the Knesset, which is the equivalence of, you can think of Congress.
Bro, she hit literally every talking point. Every talking point. There are Arabs in the Knesset, don't you know? Besides the point that, like, Colombia is participating in the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians by, you know, doing these sorts of partnerships with the fucking state of Israel, which is doing that currently. I love that she tried to fucking speed around the Hasbara talking points. Now, obviously, in a normal situation, I go point by point by point by point, and I just fucking cook her ass, okay? But this is not a normal situation at all. This is hostile territory. Now, let me tell you something real quick. This lady, I do not know a single thing about her. I don't know anything about any of these ladies. I looked their names up last night, found out that she was, you know, pro-Israel. I was like, all right, she's going to be the fucking pro-Israel one. Then I found out this lady is a black conservative. However, she actually was phenomenal on this panel. Now, I'll just say this. When I found out she was black conservative, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a threesome. Like, this is fucked up. Everyone is going to be trying to fucking tackle me. This guy was a last second addition. I think it was supposed to be Blair White originally. I thought they were just going to fucking all rip into my ass. And then I just like try to fucking sit there and do a 3v1, possibly a 4v1, as a matter of fact, because Piers does have the capacity to churn.
Is she actually born and raised Brooklyn?
He is a big yapper, and he'll do that shit. The classic, like, let me catch a soundbite here shit that all journalists do. Anyway, let's continue.
And what apartheid exactly are you speaking about? What genocide? What ethnic cleansing? And secondly, how dare you? How dare you?
Classic.
It's okay to talk about an intifada. Let me remind you, the intifada last time it happened in Israel consisted of thousands of people dying in bus bombings. So are you saying that you support terrorism and killing innocent people?
Well, intifada simply just means revolution, and I'm an American, and in 1776,
violent
we did
revolution.
one of those, and it was pretty fucking good. Yeah. What do you think? The American?
Okay,
do you think the American Revolution was a tickle party? Of course not.
We also bombed Hiroshima.
Hiroshima was not a revolution.
We also bombed Hiroshima? What the f does that mean? What does that have to do with intifada? Was that a revolutionary act? Notice how I'm still keeping it kind of cool and cracking jokes about how 1776, baby, America, f yeah. Inside of me is a volcano. And I think this was when I lost it. When she started with the how dare yous and the pink-haired twink coming in and being like, everyone is doing this for clout. It's just like all reached a boiling point inside of me. And all the rage cage that I did the night prior, all of a sudden was gone. Slate clean. Do you understand? You are about to see a very different attitude from me.
Yeah, I know. And that was also unjust and unimaginably cruel. But of course, the Israel Defender is also defending nuking civilians and killing them by the hundreds of thousands. Now listen, let's get back. Let's get back.
But when it goes against
refocus the conversation to the points that you made. Let's refocus the conversation to the points that you made.
Okay, look,
you said,
just to remind everybody, I'm actually moderating this, but that's an interesting point that Emily just raised, Hasan. It does seem
look. Notice how this fucking limp This is when it's like, okay, he immediately goes, oh, you said violent revolution is justifiable in certain instances? Well, let's take it back to October 7th. Time to talk about October 7th. Ah!
Well, very selective.
Isn't it like, let me look up the exact phrasing first. One sec.
About the violence that you support. That when you support it, it's justified. When other people use things in a violent way that you don't support, it's unjustified.
Well, yeah, obviously the oppressors using violence is always unjustified. What? That would be like saying, like, isn't it weird that when the slave rises up against the slave owner, that violence is okay, but the slave owner whipping his slaves isn't okay? Weird. It's like, yeah, man, actually, yeah. The people doing the oppressing using violence is bad, man. It's not that difficult. What are you talking about, man? Like, huh? That's always bad. It's really easy, actually. Always, always bad.
Seems like it's all skewed to what Hasan Piker thinks.
Well, not necessarily just what I think. I think that there are obvious markers, obvious boundaries. I don't think violence against civilians is justified. I have talked about October 7 on this very same show, saying that it was a tragedy. It was atrocities that occurred on October 7 specifically. When you target civilians in any capacity, I think that that is unacceptable. However, this does not mean that violence will not occur in many circumstances. Violence has occurred in every single revolutionary action, many good revolutionary actions. Obviously, America bombing Hiroshima and Nagasaki with an atom bomb, that was not a very
good
moment
Hamas did on October the 7th.
Anybody. It was not a very good moment for human civilization at all.
Was what Hamas did on October the 7th. Was what Hamas did on October the 7th.
Hamas! October 7th! Hamas! October 7th! Hamas! It's like reflexive with these fucking dinguses, bro. It's been 7 months, dude. 7 months. 30,000 dead Palestinians. And this sucker motherfucker is still like, October 7th, do you condemn Hamas, baby? Tell me now, do you condemn it? What's really interesting is I already fucking know that that's coming, so I already talked about it. But no, there is no real conversation. Thank God for my queen here, who I suspect we would not agree on much, but on this issue, she is gonna pop the fuck off, and she luckily comes in and like refocuses the conversation, because I'm losing my mind at this point.
It's an example of what you would call a justified revolution.
I don't look at every single act of violence. I look at
You've literally just been reciting a whole load of them.
Systems of oppression.
Also, this is what I was looking for, the exact phrasing. This is from an Al Jazeera article from 2015 on the topic of Palestine, saying, how can Palestine legally fight occupation? And you can see here it says, what's more, even though the UN has repeatedly recognized the right of an occupied people to use legitimate armed forces in the struggle for liberation from colonial and foreign domination, and has specifically applied this to Palestine, Palestinians have had to endure decades of being labeled as terrorists, while the terrorism perpetuated by their occupiers and oppressors has been labeled self-defense. The UN has explicitly said, if you are an oppressed people, you are allowed to use violence. Which is not that crazy. That would be, can you imagine telling Jewish people during the Holocaust, yeah. We get that they're like trying to genocide you and everything. And it's like, that sucks and everything. But you guys did kill a couple Germans. And that's kind of problematic, Sweaty. Like, that's fucking stupid. If you're going to oppress an entire group of people, how are those people supposed to stop being oppressed? They just have to patiently wait until they stop being oppressed? What? Huh? What? That's fucking stupid. Does that mean I want fucking innocent civilians to die? No. Of course not. Nobody does.
Why are you avoiding October the 7th?
You do it too.
No, I don't.
I'm not avoiding it. I've talked about it a million times.
Well, let me ask you one more time.
Hang on.
Emily, hang on.
This is not what we're here to discuss.
Let me just ask you directly one.
Like, why is this the conversation? Why?
Let me ask you one more time. Do you believe what happened on October the 7th was a justified act of revolution? Yes or no?
I do not, and I do think that. Oh, wait, hold on. That's let me clarify. Let me clarify something very important here. Events that unfolded on October 7th were atrocities. That much is clear. Those atrocities could have been avoided if Israel was not an apartheid regime. Israel has been an apartheid regime for 75 years.
Can you answer how Israel's an apartheid regime?
In the
because
early,
you keep repeating that.
No, you can't just chime in. You can't just chime in. You ask me a question. You want it?
Why
you ask me a question.
I'm
going to give you an answer.
Because you're repeating
Israel
these lies.
has been an apartheid regime
ahead,
since
please.
its inception. Until 1967, Israel was an apartheid regime for the Palestinian citizens of Israel, the Arabs, as you called them. There was a two-tier criminal justice system. They were subjected to the military court processes and not the civil court processes until 1967. After 1967, they got citizenship. There are obviously still many different social issues that pertain to the Palestinian citizens of Israel, the Arabs that are living in Israel, those who are not Jewish, of course. However, Israel currently is occupying the West Bank. There are more than 2 million Palestinians that live in the West Bank. Israel's illegally occupying the West Bank. There are checkpoints. There are license plates that restrict Palestinian travel. The Israeli operations in the West Bank have destroyed Palestinian statehood. Now, of course, all of this is readily available for those who want to learn about it, yourself included. I hope you look it up. B'Tselem is an Israeli human rights organization which declared Israel to be an apartheid regime in 2021, in the April of 2021. Amnesty International declared Israel to be an apartheid regime.
Don't fucking stop me, you baboon in a suit! Don't fucking stop me while I'm cooking, mate! The chef is in! The fucking chef is in! He's chefing!
Okay, before I move... Okay, hang on. Before I just want to bring in our two British panelists here, but just finally, just to clarify, Hasan, I can't quite work out whether you said you do think October the 7th was an unjustified act.
He's like, hold on, you said Israel's an apartheid state, but let's get back to October 7th. And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. And that's the point. He's trying to get me to be like, dude, I don't care, okay? I don't care. What the fuck are we doing here is what he's trying to get me to say. How many fucking times do I have to say it was horrific and unjustifiable?
So can you clarify?
I think that violent means of maintaining an apartheid is inevitably going to yield violent retaliation.
So was it justified?
Something that is completely avoidable.
Was it justified?
Civilian deaths are never justified.
You know what, Hasan?
Hang on, Emily.
Hang on, Emily. You look Emily, Poland's mother in the eyes. No, you look this person's mother in the eyes and you tell him that this was justified. You tell him his arm being blown off and being held in captivity for 200 days is justified.
I do love that the Israel defender has no capacity to fucking hear anything I'm saying.
It's like, does she not realize you can use the same exact argument the other way around? I can literally, probably within 10 seconds, find a live leak-esque video of some poor Palestinian kid missing limbs and be like, are you calling this self-defense? Are you calling this self-defense? Is this self-defense? Does this look like self-defense to you? Yeah, no shit, you can pull up examples of innocent civilians dying in a fucking, occupation and then say whatever you want to say. Like, that doesn't help. That doesn't do anything. Like, what are you talking about? Also, not to mention the fact that, seemingly... Now, again, I'm not saying Hamas is good, okay? Hamas is a terrorist organization. We can all understand that and recognize that. Okay, now let's move on for 2 seconds. Seemingly, historically, Hamas has actually participated and has kept their end of the deal on the hostage trades. The reason the hostages aren't going back home is because of Israel, dude. If you're upset that the hostages are still stuck in Gaza, that's because of Netanyahu. We have had no reason to not believe that Hamas would give the hostages. We have absolutely no reason to believe that Hamas wouldn't give up the hostages. We have no reason. Seemingly, if Israel wanted to negotiate and get the hostages back, they would be able to. I like how he said basically word for word, it isn't justified to hurt civilians. And she's like, how could you justify this? Yeah. It's very bizarre to me.
What are you talking about?
Oh, this is it. When I started cursing, it was over. It was like when she said this, it was Jover for me. You feel me? It was Jover.
If you're not going to respect me
You
and
think
listen
that
to what
we're
I have to
occupying
say,
the West
which, by
Bank?
the way,
You
of course
think
you
we've
don't
occupied
respect.
Gaza?
Oh, if you talk
Look what
over each other,
happened.
nobody can hear you.
I just
wanna
mean
give-
I think. It's not I
just wanna
think.
give
It's not I
Hasan-
think. It's the entire
Hasan,
world knows.
No, it is you
okay?
think.
It's the
Hang
entire
on,
world
things that
Emily,
promote
please.
your narrative.
Let me handle this, Emily. Hassan, just before I come to the two people who are with me here, I just need some clarity here because it seems like you're dancing around whether you think October the 7th was justified or not.
Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this back and forth masturbation? I've already given you my position.
Why are you doing this?
I'm
He's
sick
happy.
and tired
It's
of
Jews
repeating it
being
over and over
killed.
again.
Okay,
Because
I just
it's
asked
Jews, it's okay.
Ask this
Emily,
demon
stop
next to
talking.
me
Group, it's
wearing
Emily,
an
come back
IDF
to you.
dog
Only
tag.
when it's Jews, it's okay.
Please
Ask
stop
this
sucking
one.
each
demon next
other.
to me wearing an
Rehab,
IDF
let me
dog
handle
tag.
him.
Denims, I think you accidentally rewinded to Crackhead Barney. See, this is what I meant when I said Crackhead Barney is a performance art. Okay? I don't think she's trying to be funny or be serious or anything. I think it's a performance art to make fun of shit like this. It's like, how is me screaming about this shit really all that different from these people screaming over each other?
If she actually thinks Israel's
No,
actions are
bring them
justifiable.
home.
Again, I'm not saying that it's the same. I'm not saying that what the people here are doing is the same as what she's doing. Okay? I'm not saying what she's doing is better or worse or whatever. I'm just describing what I think probably her motivation is.
Home.
Do you
it's
see
to bring
me
the
rocking
hostages
the
home. The
the-
hostages
All right,
that you
you're talking
rightly
over each
believe
other.
Yeah, she loved the dog tag one. Immediately, she's like, look at my propaganda. It actually says bring the hostages home. It's like, you're wearing that specifically because it's a fucking IDF dog tag. Just because it says bring the hostages home doesn't change that reality. You are directly, it's like if I fucking walked on there with the Al-Qassam Brigade Band-Aid on my fucking head. And it's not even like that because, as you guys know, Hamas is the lesser evil in this fucking conversation.
This is one of my problems.
No, I want to
actually.
hear if Emily condemns
No,
the
no,
actions of
Hasan.
Israel.
And yeah, I'm going to be honest, between like the IDF and Hamas is definitely the lesser evil. It's like not even a question. And if you don't think that, like, I don't even, I don't know if we could see eye to eye on anything really. Like Hamas has killed 1,200 people since October 7th. IDF has killed like 35,000 people, and they have the backing of the U.S. government, the U.S., richest country on the planet, U.S. arms, billions of dollars of funding. I don't... like, also a lot of other governments as well. I would... Okay, I have a problematic take, guys. I'm scared. You guys aren't going to hate me, right? I need you guys to tell me you won't hate me after I say what I say. No promises? What? Fake. You're so fake. No? What? Sure? Okay, thank you. I see a lot of people asking and saying, how old do you think the lady in the middle is? The IDF lady in the middle? This woman? I'm getting reports that she's 22 by chat for the past hour. And I need to say something. All right. I don't think this is an aging thing, guys. I think this is just a plastic surgery thing. I think it's just that the plastic surgery that people get nowadays just makes you look like you're like 28. And that's less than like, I understand being conservative ages you and all that other stuff, but I feel like this is mostly just like plastic surgery and filler and stuff. That's just my opinion. Okay, please don't get mad at me. Please don't get mad at me. That's what 28 looks like? Is that not? She doesn't have any wrinkles. I feel like if she looked like 30 something, she would have at least like some wrinkles. She looks like a college soccer ball halfway through the season. What the fuck does that mean? Who has wrinkles at 28? Huh? What? I'm in my 30s and I don't have wrinkles? Yeah, but that's because we go on Twitch. Of course no one here has wrinkles. We don't see the sun. Come on, guys. Come on. Be fucking for real. I'm talking about people who go outside. All right? I feel like if you're over the age of 35 and you go outside, you have wrinkles. I have wrinkles at 20? Yeah. And you don't wear sunscreen. This is, I think, a more apt description. I think it's that the filler makes her look like she's 40 trying to look 28. Yes. I think it's more that she's so shiny. And I think that's more of the, I think it's just more that the filler and like the Botox that she has done is making her look super duper shiny in a way that's like tripping off, or sorry, not tripping off, like making our brains feel uncanny valley about her. I think that's more of what's happening. I don't think that it's like, I don't think she looks 40. I don't think she looks 30, late 30s or mid 30s or even 30s. I just think she looks exactly like Kylie Jenner at 20 getting a bunch of plastic surgery to look like she's 30. I think that's how she looks. Anyways. Okay. All right.
You will please let me moderate the debate.
Why do you ask her about 30,000 people?
I've got two panelists here who've not had a...
Yeah, why won't you ask her? Hey, Piers, why won't you ask Emily, who's rocking the IDF dog tag, which would be akin to me wearing an Al-Qassam Brigade headband, if she condemns the actions of Israel? You won't, because you fucking love Israel. You love the content. They lowered my fucking volume.
Exactly, because you're a fucking terrorist.
Please stop talking.
And I think you're a terrorist. And I think you're a terrorist as well.
Okay, well, I'm not the one wearing...
Because until the hostages are home, don't expect the war to be over.
Yeah, I know.
Bring
you don't
them
care about
home.
the hostages. If you
I
cared
love
about
how
the
you're
hostages,
condemning
you would
me.
be
You are
screaming at Benjamin Netanyahu.
Your own terrorism
Benjamin
on live
Netanyahu
television.
is the hostage
you
killer.
You are exposing... You know,
Benjamin Netanyahu has killed more hostages than
Hamas.
You need to be condemning...
Nah, no shot. No shot. I'm not letting her get away with it. At that point, I'm like, nope, I know what's going on here. If you don't let me if you don't want to fucking be a moderator, then sorry, you don't get to have a fucking normal, cordial conversation. You think I'm going to let her fucking cut me off every single time and be like, look at the hostages. You don't care about the hostages. Shut the fuck up. This is the most openly angry I've ever been on television.
Now, Esther, this is one of the problems I have with this whole debate.
Yeah. The debate goes out of control. The debate goes out of control. It's so crazy. It's like, yeah, dude, that's what happens when one side is literally fucking slaughtering children, okay? By the thousands. Slaughtering children, women, men, everyone. Destroying the entirety of a fucking open-air prison that they created. Esther does save the day, by the way. Esther fucking my queen, okay? I don't even know. The only thing I saw was that she's like a black conservative or something. So I literally thought that she was also coming for me right now. Turns out, queen, okay?
Increasingly, it just descends into a screaming match between pro-Palestinians and pro-Israelis.
And the biggest losers are the victims of this war. 33,000 dead Palestinians, over 1,500.
I don't remember what I said, that they fucking paused. They like
dead
straight up
Israelis.
lowered my volume.
These are the biggest victims of this, because you're shouting at each other and nothing is getting, like, you're completely, forget having no courtesy for us. You're completely disrespecting actual victims of this conflict, which, by the way, didn't happen in a vacuum. And I think that's the most important thing to say about this. None of this happened in a vacuum. Of course, October the 7th was an atrocity, and it was completely unjustified. There was no justification for butchering people in the way that they did. But it didn't happen in a vacuum. A lot of the people that live in Gaza weren't even born at the time that Hamas came in power. So I really just, I despise this, you're a terrorist sympathizer, you're a genocide supporter, all of this, when really the people that we should be talking about deserve better.
Okay. James, on the wider point of these protests...
Well, I couldn't get to that part because I wanted to describe what the apartheid is, and Emily cut in immediately to chirp about some random...
Okay, you were both abusing each other. It was very unedifying.
It was very
Let me ask James. James, on the protest...
Yeah, let's ask this fucking guy. Dude. I'm a little too comfortable with my faux status in the community, obviously, because this is a very queer community. And you guys know where my position is on the matters, right? Like, I've been a fucking radical ally to LGBTQ momentum in the country for a very long time. I'm telling you something right now. It was very hard for me not to say, like, who the fuck is this pink-haired twink? It was because I knew. I was like, if I say some shit like that, people are going to be like, oh, this dude is homophobic, and write me off as like, oh, this dude is definitely homophobic. Because, dude, I was trying so, not a slur, obviously, but god damn, son, god damn. It was just like, what the f is this guy doing here?
On the protests, look, I believe in the right to protest. That's an absolute bedrock of any democracy. But I don't believe in the right to support terror groups publicly, or to chant about support for Hamas, or to chant about Intifada, which is a violent uprising. Where's the line for you with these?
I agree. I think we have to condemn what Hamas did, and I don't think the words that have been used so far have been strong enough. I mean,
Oh my God. You guys know that one Adam comic that's like... It's one of those like gays against groomers comics. I found it. You guys have seen this comic before? It's like average American that says, we finally did it. We finally outlawed all the trans people and drag queens. Thank you for your help. And he's shaking hands with a guy holding up a gays against drag queens sign and a shirt that says LGB without the T. He says, happy to be of service. And then he says, so who are we going after next? And the other guy just like looks at him. And he says, I said, who's next? And the other guy, again, just looks at him. And he says, who? And then realizes, oh, the person who's next is the gays. Basically making fun of the very specific breed of group of people who think that they're cool, that the conservatives think that they're cool, but really the conservatives fucking despise them. And I feel like within the queer community, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. White gay men are the pick-me's. It's like you are most likely to be a queer pick-me if you're a white gay dude. Especially if you're like affluent. All right, again, I'm not saying all white gay men. Okay? It's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is that there are a lot of grifters who belong to that category. Think Ollie London. Okay? Think Milo Yiannopoulos. Okay? This guy. Think this guy over here. Dave Rubin. Most notably, Austin Show. Basically, the idea is that because if you're a white gay man and you're affluent, right? if you're not immediately presentably gay, a lot of conservatives will mostly just treat you kind of like, oh, you're fine. We're fine with you. And when you get that treatment, when you get like people to tolerate you, you start to not care that much about how they mistreat other people. You're one of the good ones. Exactly. It's kind of like, I know that all of the friends that I have, sorry, let me start that sentence again. If I get introduced to a friend by one of my friends who happens to be black, I know that that person is not going to be racist. Because I know if that person was racist, my black friend wouldn't be friends with them. They wouldn't be. However, I could get introduced to someone who is racist by one of my white friends, just because they never noticed or saw this person being racist in front of them. Does that make sense to you guys? You guys understand the topic or like what I'm trying to explain exactly? Like, there are a lot of conservatives and Republicans that will like, they'll tolerate the gay white men because it's like, well, you're not shoving it in my face and at least you're not one of those drag queens. So whatever, we'll let you in for now. It's fine. We'll let you in for now. And so because they're experiencing kindness from these people, they're like, well, maybe these people aren't so bad. Meanwhile, if they were trans, they would never be friends with that person because that person would never treat them with respect. Tolerated because of queer eye and interior design. Yeah. Yeah. That's honestly also a different combo because it's a lot of liberals. They can be fickle on their advocacy because they can survive in a tolerant or intolerant society. Wow. Beautifully phrased. Very beautifully phrased, actually. We had an openly lesbian leader of a conservative party here. She didn't seem to comprehend that her party despised people like her. Yes. And that's all to say. I feel like we've seen this guy 100 times. I don't even know what this guy's name is, but I'm just trying to be a reasonable person. Also, I happen to be an affluent white gay man, but I'm just trying to be a reasonable person on both sides for a second. And it's just not something you see nearly as frequently when it comes to people who are, for example, trans, or when it comes to people who are non-white or any of the other, when you're not meeting that intersection of privilege, you're just way less likely to both sides because you understand that there is no both sides here. So for this guy to say, NPC number 3, yeah, for this guy to say, oh, I just don't think we're doing enough Hamas condemning. It's like, oh my God, grow up, man. Grow up, dude. Jesus.
Yeah. We haven't condemned Hamas strong enough, dude. Yeah, you're right, dude. I should literally fucking give more money to Israel. Please. I just paid my taxes, bro. I am literally the #1 Palestinian baby killer at this point, and it's not even up to me. The fuck do you mean? I have paid for the death and destruction of the Palestinian lives without my fucking consent way more than any of these dumb fucking British people have. Okay? Shut the fuck up. If it were up to me, I would be giving them the Iron Dome. That's what they deserve. The Palestinian people deserve the Iron Dome. Okay? Let's even out the fucking playing field.
Yeah, listen, Piers, okay? This is going to always be a very heated discussion. Yeah. Okay? Having a conversation about how heated this discussion is utterly unproductive. Every single moment that we use on air, not talking about every single university building being desecrated, destroyed. The fact that we're having this conversation on the eve
anyone
of
trying to rock the
hundreds
James
of
Somerton
mass
style hairstyle
graves
is immediately
being unearthed right now in
sorry, not sorry.
In many different parts of Gaza, around hospitals that Israel had laid siege to, is disgusting. I agree. I came on here, as I have done last time as well, and as I will probably do in the future as well, with one simple goal in mind, which is to address all of the misinformation that surrounds stuff like this. The students over at Columbia, okay, the students that I have talked to.
This is where I try to like go back, because this is the reason why I'm there. They told me we're supposed to be talking about campus activism and the anti-Semitism that's like rising on campuses or whatever. So I'm trying to literally steer the conversation back to that. But of course, because I'm doing that, Piers is going to cut me off again.
At the Columbia University Apartheid Divest group, the students that I've talked to from Jewish Voice for Peace.
All right, Emily, let me just ask you.
Wait, what? Why did he cut that? Oh my God, they edited it. That's a gross edit, bro. How is this uncensored, Piers?
Is there not a better way we can have this conversation?
Funnily enough, correct. And funnily enough, I have the same exact answer as Hasan. My job here is to make sure that I'm debunking false narratives that Hasan is clearly spewing. My job here is to call out hypocrisy, because the Palestinian movement will literally just take what they can get, spew all of the truth into their false narrative, spread misinformation, and then you say that we're the liars. You tell me I'm wearing an IDF dog tag. I'm wearing a bring them home for the hostages that you... No, it says bring them home.
You're using the hostages as a simple political tool to make propaganda in the West. Is quite disgusting.
All right, let me bring in James.
Let's hear from James, dude. Yeah. Thanks, Piers. Let's hear from James. I'm trying to be like, listen, if you're that mad about the hostages, you have to be mad at Benjamin Netanyahu. You have to be mad at Benjamin Netanyahu, who has killed all the hostages. It's a very simple point. That's it. That's the point. But I need to hear from James about how I'm wrong, actually.
James, if anyone is using hostages, surely it's Hamas, Hasan. How can you say that? How can you use that argument?
He's talking about using the hostages as a talking point, you fucking dipshit. Oh my God. Yes, that's literally how hostages work. Thank you for explaining to us how hostages work. You get a hostage so you can use them for your goals. Thank you so much for letting us know how hostages work. Wow, I didn't know that before, you fucking moron. We're talking about using them for your own optics, for your own political goals, like as a bystander, not as the person who actually has the hostage. We're talking about as like some rando that's going online or going on TV to talk about some shit.
It's a crazy thing to say. It's Hamas that have taken these
there
people from their homes,
tens of thousands of people in Israel. There are currently tens of thousands of Israeli citizens right now in the streets of Israel, in the streets of Tel Aviv, outside of Benjamin Netanyahu's house, protesting every single day. What are they protesting? They're protesting for Benjamin Netanyahu to facilitate a ceasefire with Hamas so that they can actually bring the hostages home. That is precisely the number one goal of the family members of the hostages.
Who
and
is
if
using
anyone
the hostages?
on this panel was being even a little bit honest, they would recognize the reality that, listen, just listen.
You didn't listen to my question.
Listen to what I'm saying, and you will understand perhaps what I'm trying to imply here.
That's very patronizing.
Utilizing the hostages. Yeah, I am being patronizing. I don't know who the f you are, and you're over here chirping all the way from fucking London about Palestine and doing a both sides are fucking fine type bullshit. Or you're talking about how you want to fucking free Palestine, but also simultaneously, both sides got a lot going on. Shut the f up. You don't know anything.
He literally stunlocked him, dude. He's literally comboing him in real time.
Okay? I don't give a shit about what you're...
I lost it. I was like, I don't care. Who are you? Shut the fuck up. At least this dumbass next to me, at least is a little bit fucking knowledgeable. She knows the propaganda talking points. You don't even know. Yeah, I did do that on TV. Because
you really did the meme like, you took everything from me. You said, I don't even know who you are.
Who the f do you think you are? Who? Shut the f up. This is not your opportunity to fucking pad your CV so you can get a goddamn media spot later on as a fucking podcaster. Big boys are talking about fucking genocide. Put your fucking big boy pants on. Even she liked it. She liked it a little bit.
Agreed.
Hassan doesn't like what you have to say, so you're wrong. It's Hassan's way or the highway.
I mean, you
are.
There is no both sides on a genocide. Is there a both sides of a genocide? There is no both sides.
Well, the thing is, it's interesting you should mention the hostages.
What is
no
in the
both
Hamas
sides
charter? They want a Jewish genocide, but that's okay. But a Jewish genocide is okay.
If you're talking about the well-being of the if you're talking about the well-being of the hostages, what sense did it make for the IDF to flatten?
Thank God my queen comes in and just because I'm a lightning rod for everyone there, she can just like get away with saying good things.
About 70% of Gaza.
It's
because
my
I completely
time to shine.
agree. Bring the hostages home.
I have to admit something. I got to come clean about something. Caught. I got to come clean. All right. I asked if you guys promised not to be mad at me last time, and I feel like hammers ? No, I feel like you guys didn't get mad at me afterward. So I need you to trust me again and not mad at me. But I'm going to come clean. I'm going to fess up. You think she's hot, right? Well, of course I do. What a stupid... Yeah, we didn't even need to bring that up. Everyone in here should already agree. I also love that Hasan is a lightning rod because I can say the same shit, but everyone gets so mad that Hasan is saying it that no one looks at me, and it's great. I love it. I love it so much. I do everything wrong and they don't indict me. And it's great. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I ain't gonna front, okay? I'm not gonna front. I am the DPS that sometimes gets a kill, but mostly just exists. And Hasan is tanking. Yes, I am using him as a human shield. Yes. Yes. It's true. It's true. It's true. What's DPS? That's what all my teammates say as well. Anyways, okay.
If you look at Gaza, the topography of Gaza right now, it looks like a pancake. So I'm sorry, this whole argument of Hamas using them as human tools, fine, but the IDF has also been using it to continue that campaign. If you were told that if, God forbid, if your relative was one of the hostages and you saw what's happening right now, and I met someone whose mother is a hostage, and he said he didn't want his mother and her being taken to be used in the name of violence. Right now, he's sitting at home wondering, okay, what is the logic of trying to bring my mother home when you flattened?
I mean, there were literally, I don't know if anyone has it. It's a really long interview, so I'm not going to play it, but there's an interview from someone who was at one of the there's a name that they have for the towns that were, I guess you could call it, the towns that were attacked on October 7th. I don't know what the name of it is. I'm like blanking on it. Kibbutz. There was like this like 14-year-old girl or like this 15-year-old girl at one of the kibbutz, and she saw like people get attacked and she saw people die, and she literally went on air. She's staying at a hotel because her home was sieged. And she went on air and said, do not use these people's deaths as an excuse to go and slaughter Palestinians. That's not what I want. I was there. I saw it happen. I lived. Don't use this as a fucking excuse to go kill those people. She's like in the hotel the next day at Tel Aviv. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the nice words in the sub. S. Clark, thank you. But this one. Oh, she's 19. I thought she was 15. She does look like 15-ish.
אני בת 19, מקיבוץ בארי.
I want to see if I can find the part where she says it.
הדבר הכי גרוע, חוץ מלשמוע את כל השמות של המתים והנעדרים והשבויים, הדבר הכי גרוע במיידי לא היה לשכב בחושך בממ"ד, זה לא היה לשמוע את היריות, זה לא היה אפילו בזמן אמיתי לקבל התראות מחברי קיבוץ שלי, שמות שהכרתי מאז שאני מכירה את עצמי, מבקשים לעזרה ואף אחד לא בא. הדבר הכי גרוע בשבילי, חוץ מהמתים והשבויים והחטופים, זה הרגע שבו יצאתי מהבית כשפינו אותנו והיה חושך והייתי יחפה ודרכתי על זכוכית.
I'm trying to see the specific part where she talks about I guess like how she doesn't feel like the solution is more violence and shooting more rockets at Gaza. Is it this? This section, I think, is one of these. Like here she's talking about like, don't just point at the Iron Dome as like a solution to Hamas. Don't point at our soldiers as a solution to Hamas. Like none of those are our solutions. We're not going to solve this problem with more violence. Those are all Band-Aid solutions. And then here she's talking about there can be no more Band-Aids. They ask us, do you think you're going to go back to the kibbutz after this to live there without added protections, without additional soldiers? And she says, don't offer up soldiers or protections. Talk to me about a political solution. For years, we've been asking for a political solution. Let's speed this up a little bit. Just because it's like 9 minutes long. Here we go. The decision to launch missiles, that's over my head, that's out of my control. Bibi, Hamas, I don't care. I don't care who's launching the rockets. What I do know is that Be'eri suffers, Nahalaz suffers, Kfar Aza Sderot, and Gaza suffers. Like, this is a girl who just survived the October 7th attacks and is staying at a hotel in Tel Aviv, who, again, just barely survived the attacks on her kibbutz. And she's literally saying, you realize the Gazans are suffering. Everybody's suffering right now. You're not going to fix this by launching more fucking rockets at Hamas. That's not going to fix this problem. If someone who literally survived an attack on her city can recognize that the people in Gaza are suffering, and this was October 7th. This is before 35,000 people were killed. This is long before they ran out of food and medical supplies and clean water and electricity. If she's able to recognize that you don't solve this by bombing the shit out of Gaza, what's the, like, how is this not clicking for anyone else? Like, I don't understand. And no, I don't think she's a U.S. citizen. As far as I know, someone else can correct me. But I believe she's Israeli, like born and raised, and has only, I think, exclusively Israeli. And then here, even this is like, believe me, every missile launched with only 4.5 kilometers between Gaza and Be'eri causes the ground to shake in the exact same way in both places. And then here, she very reasonably blames Bibi. Now, I know that there's a lot of anger towards Bibi because I feel it. I feel it very strongly in the moments that I'm able to feel anything at all because as of late, it's not easy. I feel the anger because how many more people have to die for him? How many people have to die for his ego and his personal interest? I don't know if I've said this, if I've already said this, the missiles, particularly in this latest attack. Even before the terrorists infiltrated, I heard more missiles than in all of my 19 years of life at once. And then she even says here, the missiles, the ones that hit us, feel like missiles launched by my own government.
ואני אגיד לכם שהטילים, מבחינתי הטילים שמכים אותנו, זה מרגיש כאילו זה טילים שהממשלה שלי שלך. כי זאת הממשלה שהפקירה אותי. כל שנות חיי.
Because this government has abandoned me.
כל שנות חיי, ועכשיו מגיע הגרוע מכל. ואם זה לא הגרוע מכל, אלוהים יודע מה יהיה איתנו. עכשיו זה נכון, שביבי וביבי
Now, it is true that Bibi this and Bibi that, and truly I blame him 100% for everything.
אני מאשימה אותו ב100%, בהכל. זה נכון. הוא בחר לתת לנו לחיות ככה. הוא בחר לתת לנו כיפת ברזל במקום פתרון מדיני. והוא בחר גם עוד הרבה דברים אחרים. והדם שלנו על הידיים שלו. אבל זה לא רק הוא. הוא שורש של בעיה עמוקה מאוד, אבל זה לא רק הוא. אם המילים שלי מגיעות למישהו, תסתכלו טוב טוב פנימה. ויש לי הרבה דברים, דרך אגב, מהממשלה פעמיים, אבל בשנייה כל אדם כאן היה מוותר על זה, אם זה היה אומר שהשבויים שלנו היו חוזרים. דרך אגב, מהממשלה פעמיים שמעתי התייחסות לזה שהם קיימים בכלל, מתנהגים כאילו הם לא קיימים. מפציצים ויודעים...
And then there's this. They drop bombs knowing that those bombs will cost them their lives too. And she also says, but in a heartbeat, every person here would give this up to get their hostages back. In reference to the staying safe in a hotel. All of that was just to show... Wait, Netanyahu's called Bibi, as far as I know, yeah. All of that is to say, if someone who literally survived the October 7th attacks is capable of recognizing that, hey, this isn't about Hamas. We're not going to solve this by talking about how we have to eradicate Hamas, and hey, the people in Gaza are suffering, and hey, we need to like do something other than violence. What excuse does this lady have in the middle? Like, what excuse do any of these people have for their bloodthirst? Because that's what it is. Every time any of these people are like, Hamas, we have to Hamas. It's just bloodthirst. That's what it is. I feel like it's pretty obvious.
Gaza. Please explain that to us.
Can I pull the question?
Because you might very well pull those.
No answer. Can I pull the question to you? Hello. You have asked me a question that makes me look bad because I am defending a violent apartheid state. Hello? Are you also Hamas? Right now, at this point, I'm like, brief moment of solace. Finally, some like actually pro-Palestinian sentiment, which is, by the way, just the truth, which is hilarious that we are saying like, oh, something that is like pro-Palestine is being said. But it's just like someone is actually asking understandable questions about the glaringly obvious at the cleansing campaign. I literally was just like, oh, thank God. I was not listening to anything she said because I did not want to get even more mad.
Okay, let Emily respond to that.
Everyone wants to criticize the IDF's response, but nobody wants to tell me what should Israel be doing to retaliate October 7th, eradicate Hamas from preventing another October 7th, and bring the hostages home.
I have an idea.
You have a solution?
I have an idea. Do not flatten Gaza and potentially pull your own hostages up from under the rubble like have been done with thousands of Palestinians. That's a good idea. Yeah. Have you found any of them under the rubble?
So you're saying that you don't have an answer.
That is the answer.
So you
don't kill your own hostages.
But you're quick to condemn the IDF, but you don't have an answer.
How about not killing the hostages?
Very interesting.
I have an answer.
Thank you for proving my point.
It's called the dissolution of the apartheid regime. That's what it's called. Dissolve the apartheid regime.
So what would you like to see happen,
Palestinians
Hasan?
breathing room. Do you not understand the English language? Dissolve the apartheid regime.
You need a Xanax, first of all. You need a Xanax. Okay, so should Israel...
You need a Xanax. I just told you what I mean.
Okay, so should Israel do
I'm
to
sorry,
the West Bank what they did to Gaza?
30,000 Palestinians have been ruthlessly slaughtered by the Israeli
Israel
state.
Give
It makes
back
me a little
the land
upset
so that it can
when
turn
someone is
into another
defending that.
Gaza? Is that what you'd like to see? Another terrorist haven launching rockets all day instead of turning it to Singapore? Because that's what they did in 2005.
Wait, hold on. What is Singapore?
The billions of dollars in aid they turned into building tunnels. Is that what you'd like to see?
I don't know. Have I gone
Singapore
deaf?
every day.
Sorry,
What,
Emily,
is
is the West
an
Bank
open-air
supposed to be
prison?
Singapore?
What are you talking about?
Is the West Bank supposed to be Singapore?
The West Bank received... The West Bank has a port. They can import and export. Israel gave them a great piece of land. They received billions of dollars.
Okay, this was another one. This was another moment. When she said Israel gave them a great piece of land, I was like, Israel gave them? Israel gave them? Are you out of your fucking mind? Israel gave them? Liberal Zionism falls apart so goddamn quick. By the way,
can I just say, like, the Zionism brain is so British. It's so British Empire coded. It's so like, yeah, well, you know what? We give you your freedom. We'll give you this. It's like, what do you mean you're giving it? It's ours. What? Huh?
I was able to fucking shut him up from trying to both sides of the situation a little bit.
He cooked the so hard, he shut the fuck up and hasn't spoken since.
Israel gave, are you mad? They had a chance to rebuild, but they spent the last 15 plus years crying that they don't have enough land because there is never enough land for them instead of rebuilding. But that's okay. Build terrorist tunnels. Don't build hotels and don't rebuild civilization. Just build
not
terrorist
allowed
tunnels.
Palestinians to have a nation state that they deserve by international law since the inception of the Israeli nation state. What you are saying is insane to me. The fact that you brought up the last 15 years as Palestinians crying is disgusting.
Oh, I have one more question.
You are a disgusting little monster who thinks that not offering contiguity to the Palestinians in the form of a state, which is under international law, is just simply Palestinians crying.
One question.
Okay?
This West Bank, Singapore. Hold on.
You're a disgusting little monster. Dude, I wanted to say so much more. I wanted to say so much fucking more.
We're getting nowhere.
No, because
Thank
he's
you.
did Yoav Galant not say that? Israel's cutting off electricity, water, and aid.
Did Defense Minister Yoav Galant say we are fighting human animals or not? Answer that question. Did Defense Minister Yoav Galant say we are fighting human animals and we have to cut off their electricity, cut off their food, cut off their water?
Okay.
Yeah, the slight
you know what? I'm going to cut off. I'm going to cut off.
Yeah, what happened? Yeah, get on your phone. Maybe you'll find a quote in there that'll help you, dumbass.
Oh, man. The only thing that I wish I could do that I absolutely cannot, sadly, I really wish I could watch this from the perspective of someone who's like very completely neutral. Like, I wish I didn't know who Hasan was or any of these people so I could watch it and like come to a conclusion on like how good or bad this looks, because I think I'm too biased to be able to like know what a bystander would think of this. Would you ever go on Piers show? Maybe. The dude's like crazy misogynistic, and I don't feel like going on would be very fun. Asmon's not neutral. I mean, no, I don't know. The people saying like, I think the people saying Asmon a reaction, I think are asking to watch it. Which we are going to right fucking now. I was excited to see the full coverage of it so that I could watch the reaction video. So let's get into it. Okay. Capri tweeted this out. Friend of the channel, Capri.
Unique moral authority to break the law because of what you believe in. What gives you the right to do that? Well, you don't have that right. So don't be surprised whenever people get you out of the fucking road and arrest you. It's narcissistic and entitled. That's insane. It's like these people think that the world revolves around their issue. There's thousands of issues in the world. Is Israel-Palestine the only place where bad things are happening? Look at Ukraine. No. What if everybody acted that way? The world would be chaos. You can't realistically act that way. It doesn't matter what you think is effective or not. Just because something, you don't have the right to make an effective protest based off of the rules that you invent. That's insane.
Denims, are you fucking with me? This is your neutral source? Sometimes I swear to God, people like actively don't listen to the words I'm saying because it's more fun to not do that. Which, hey man, I get it. I get it. Me. Oh, I think people are describing Asmongold not because he's a neutral source, but because they want me to watch the clip. Chatter. You're calling him a neutral source?
DNM balls.
How did... Wow. I'm so confused. I don't understand, man. I'm so confused. I'm so confused, man. Life is crazy. Life really be crazy sometimes. Be nice, Denims. It's a mobile viewer. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. You're right. Dude, Asmongold is such a... I want to study his brain. I want to study his brain. Like, it's just... It's like... It feels like when it comes to anything that's remotely political, he has like a dartboard and a bunch of darts, and he puts a blindfold on and he takes a dart, and like the dartboard has like 3 options to it. Like 1/3 of it is be based, the other third is be cringe, and the other one is just like 4 question marks in a row. And it's like he closes his eyes and he takes the dart and he's like,
7 months. Free Palestine.
That's what we're doing today. And then he hits the bullseye every time. Centrist. It's like amazing. It's so amazing. Because I feel like most people, you can kind of predict like what the stance is going to be. Like basically with Tim Pool, I know what he's going to say about everything every single time. Right? Most conservatives, you know what they're going to say every single time. With like Asmongold, it's like, it's such a mystery. It's like, oh, new OnlyFans Twitch thought drama just dropped. Let's see. Oh, Asmongold is defending them. Okay. Oh, okay. New MLK, or not MLK. He made that connection. New Andrew Tate drama news has dropped. He's comparing him to MLK for some reason. Okay. Question mark. Oh, someone is being sexist. Time to be cringe. Like, I just don't understand.
He and his chat are a bunch of enlightened centrists that openly say they don't give a fuck about what's happening, but feel the right to tell others they are wrong on issues because they are too passionate and emotional and therefore biased.
I feel like Asmongold takes pride in being an observer. Like, I feel like he takes special pride in his soul in like I'm not gonna political voyeurism. Yes. It feels like every single political conversation he loves to sit in the cuck chair. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's just amazing. I love hearing the next thing he's going to say because it's always some crazy, stupid shit. And it's not predictable, I must say. And I do like non-predictable people. Okay? I won't lie. I'll be honest with you guys. My problematic opinion. Let's see. Does he have like a video on his like YouTube on this topic? Yes. I think this is the video that he has on this. Oh, was it not this one? No, this is Google fires more protesters. Oops. It's this one. Here we go. Someone uploaded the react. What did he say? Let's look through the transcript. What does he say in the clip?
What gives you the unique moral authority to...
Unique moral authority. Why isn't it working? Why isn't the control find working? Grrr. I'm trying to find a timestamp for this. He literally gives AI political takes. Yeah. The best part is that the average American has the exact same takes as Asmongold. Yeah. I mean, it's probably just the mold, to be honest. TBQH is probably just the mold. YouTube has transcripts? Yeah. Mold GPT. Ah, here we go. Super secret hack. Don't tell anyone.
What gives you the unique moral authority to break the law because of what you believe in? What gives you the right to do that? Well, you don't have that right.
What's the legal system's rules on peaceful protests on roads? You just need like a permit, right? To block a like a road. I know you don't need one to like have a picket sign on like a sidewalk, but what about on like an interstate or something? Can you get a permit for blocking an interstate? I assume it's state by state. We're gonna listen to the guy who lives in his own filth and trash? Fuck yes, we are. It's called Comedy Bro. Let's see. Control fine. Permit. Yeah, okay. So he's talking about what gives you the unique authority to be able to do something, which I would say the government actually gives you the authority to do so. The ACLU is talking about here. Here, this is specifically related to California, okay? And it says you do require, okay, sorry, it says usually you don't need a permit to engage in free speech activity. However, according to the ACLU, certain types of events can require permits, which include a march or a parade that does not stay on the sidewalk, or other events that require blocking traffic or street closure, a very large rally requiring the use of sound amplifying devices, a rally at certain designated parks or plazas. Many permit procedures require that the applications be filed with the police department of the city well in advance of the event. However, the government must allow you to obtain the permit on short notice if the event is organized in response to an unforeseeable recent occurrences. Yeah. So like he's talking about like what gives you the right to do this? To which I would say like the Constitution. Actually, you can get a permit to march. And no one is allowed to kick you off because you have a permit. Like, actually, the government can imbue you with the right to do that. Actually. All right.
So don't be surprised whenever people get you out of the fucking road and arrest you. It's narcissistic and entitled. That's insane. It's like these people.
It's narcissistic and entitled to fight for other people's rights. Liberals, oh, you care about Palestine? Stop tweeting and go do something. People organize nationwide protests and actions at great personal risk. You swine. I hope the police beat you to a fine red paste. I hope they come after your families. How dare you? Okay, but that's literally him. That's literally Asmongold. Asmongold is literally the first person to say, none of these liberals, none of these leftists, these tankies, these socialist communists ever do anything. And then they do something that's like, you know, honestly, you're being very selfish and narcissistic for protesting right now. Honestly, It's very subtle. You're not protesting the way I want you to protest right now. And I don't really like it, actually. I don't like it. It's making me upset.
People think that the world revolves around their issue. There's thousands of issues in the world. Is Israel-Palestine the only place where bad things are happening? Look at Ukraine.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to close that. I was listening to that.
Surprised whenever people get you out of the fucking road and arrest you. It's narcissistic and entitled. That's insane. It's like these people think that the world revolves around their issue. There's thousands of issues in the world. Is Israel-Palestine the only place where bad things are happening? Look at you.
What is this? What is this argument? Yes, well, did you know that Ukraine is happening? Did you consider that? Did you consider that Ukraine? I feel like we put this argument to rest like a decade ago when people were unironically saying feminists need to stop protesting so much. You know, women in Saudi Arabia. Didn't we stop making this dumb argument a decade ago? Please, please. Surely. Surely.
Ukraine. No. What if everybody acted that way? The world would be chaos. You can't realistically act that way. It doesn't matter what you think is effective or not. Just because...
What does he mean by you can't act that way?
As something you don't have the right to make an effective protest based off
Kantian Asmongold
of the rules that you invent.
Wait, but no one's inventing rules. Like, I guess technically we as a society are inventing rules, but these people aren't inventing rules. There are already laws in place about peaceful protesting.
That's insane. If it's not disruptive, then nobody is going to care about it. Well, if nobody cares about it, maybe
Boss
you should
makes
think
$1,
about the
I make
reason
dime,
why that
so
is.
I watch Denim on Company. Thank you for the fun streams, Dennis. DNM Heart.
This is giving, like, I read a post that was very clearly trolling. And then replying, well, the fact that I thought it was real really says something. You know, the fact that no one cares about it really says something. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Okay, here, I'll make it really simple. Really simple, Asmon. Let's play it back. Let's play it back. Also, Katie, thank you so much for the 9 months. Wait.
Well, if nobody cares about not disruptive, then nobody is going to care about it. If it...
This is objectively, I think we can all agree, this is objectively an insane thing to say.
That's insane. If it's not disruptive, then nobody is going to care about it. Well, if nobody cares about it, maybe you should think about the reason why that is.
To address...
No follow-up. No commentary. Just the most baseless, useless statements on the planet. Oh, your clothes get wet when they touch water? Well, maybe you should think about the reason why that is. Okay, what's the reason? Tell me what's... It feels like the reason is just that people aren't caring enough because it's not impacting them enough. So we should make it impact them so that they care about it. Because it's a cause worth caring about. I don't understand, like, what is happening here? Like, what is going on inside that brain?
All of the
And, like, let's just be realistic for just 2 seconds. 80% chance this stance was born because his DoorDash driver showed up an extra 15 minutes late because of the protests. I'll say it. I'm brave enough.
Misinformation that surround stuff like this. As far as the crackhead Barbie thing goes, yeah, she's a random TikTok influencer who gives a shit about what she has to say. She's obviously doing it for clout. But the students over at Columbia, okay, the students that I have talked to from Jewish Voice.
Just cut them off. Yeah, there it is.
I guess that's the whole
Why is
take.
it our business? What are your thoughts on civil rights? People always try to bring up civil rights. This isn't civil rights. Get out of the road. Stop occupying private businesses. Get out of the road. There's no nuance to this at all. Get out of the road. Stop.
I mean, he's not wrong. There is no nuance. I just disagree with everything else he's saying. Get off my darn lawn, you damn liberals.
Breaking the law, and that's it. I don't care what your reason is. It's civil disobedience? No, it's not. Civil disobedience? No. You're standing in the road, making it harder for ambulances to go through the road. No, this is not justifiable. I don't care what your rationalizations for the Revolutionary War and, oh, we're revolutionaries, or it's like civil rights. It doesn't matter. Get out of the road. Stop breaking the law.
I don't know specifically which protest he's talking about that's blocking a road, but I hope he understands. First of all, protesters, like, they let ambulances and EMTs through. Like, can you imagine the type of protester that's like, we care about human lives? No, Mr. Ambulance, we won't let you pass. Like, absolutely ridiculous. Second of all, that's why there's permits for things. Now, again, I don't know which specific one he's talking about. It's possible the protest he's talking about was done without a permit, but that's why the city has permits. That's why the city issues permits for protests. And it's because, okay, well, you want to do this protest. Sure, it is your constitutional right to protest. We can now designate this area, this particular freeway or whatever. He doesn't even know which one. Well, we can probably the Golden Gate Bridge one. Yeah. Well, we'll issue a permit so we know which hours you will be there so that the ambulances and the police officers can know where to go and to know that that road is blocked, or for other cars to know that they can't go through there and only ambulances can go through there. Like, this idea that, like, we don't have systems in place for this is so silly. Not to mention the fact that I highly doubt that this was his opinion. I highly doubt that this was his opinion during the truckers' convoy. Maybe it was. Maybe it was. In which case, I eat my words. I apologize. But, White People Dini, thank you so much for the 2 gift subs.
Stop destroying property, and that's it. And I think that I speak for a lot of people here that whenever I see a person doing that, I want them removed. I don't care what their reasoning is. I don't care why they think they have the authority to do this. It doesn't matter to me. It has nothing to do with this. How many of you guys agree with that?
Let's see.
Everybody, yep. And I think also a lot of people that have these, like these freedom fighter delusions, they don't really believe these things. I don't think that anybody almost actually believes these things. Because if it was your property being destroyed, if it was your house being damaged, if it was your work that you are now late to, because of these things, you would be very angry and very upset. And you would want it stopped.
No. I can think of people outside of myself. No. Oh, the road is blocked. Okay. Maybe I'm biased, okay? I'll admit something really quickly, okay? maybe I'm biased because I grew up in New York, which has so much traffic that nobody drives. So it's kind of like every single street is blocked anyways, and everyone takes the train. And then I moved to LA where there's always traffic. So it's kind of like every single street is being blocked anyways. So maybe I'm not the right person to speak on this.
They're LARPing. Yes, they're completely LARPing. And if this was actually, if they had to be a victim of it, they would immediately be crying about it and complaining.
Sorry, thank you so much for the gift, Sam.
You want to hear a good example? The Canada truck protests.
Oh!
The same people that were making these same arguments were doing the exact opposite.
What?
There's no actual principle.
Uh-huh. You're not the right person. And even though I'm not a huge fan of this, he is right in this video. Okay. You got it, man. XX Prodigy XX94. I respect that your username really feels like it was made a decade ago. So here's the thing. It's kind of about what the people are protesting for. If a bunch of people blocked my road because McDonald's burgers were like $1 too expensive for them, or like the prices of McDonald's burgers went up 50 cents, yeah, I'd be really fucking mad. I'd be like, dude, get out of the fucking road, you morons. But hey, maybe genocide is a little different. Maybe the thing that people are protesting for, the reason they're blocking my road, is important. And a bunch of losers that don't want to get vaccinated because they think it's going to give them brain AIDS autism is a dumb reason to protest. If they were protesting for better working hours or protection from AI trucks or protection in other ways, be it sick days or whatever, fuck it, dude, then I guess the road is blocked, man. Shit. I guess the road is blocked. The reason your road is blocked is important, actually. And this is a concept that everyone knows to be true. Like, if you don't show up to work because you got in a car accident, your employer wouldn't be like, well, time to fire you. Well, maybe in modern day America, okay? Maybe in modern day America, sorry. If you work in a restaurant or you work food service, you're fired. Yeah. Maybe another normal job, okay? Let me just be clear. Sorry, I forgot we live in hellscape for a second. My apologies. Versus, if you show up an hour late because there was, I don't know, a ladybug crossing the street. Okay, then maybe, yeah, you get fired. Like, your inconvenience, what is it being weighed against? Because that matters. If your inconvenience is being weighed against genocide, it's like, oh, I'm going to be a little bit late, but these people are literally dying. Like, that's silly. Come on, you know that that's silly. You fucking know that that's silly. Asmongold, you have editors, right? If your editor said that they had to take a week off because they just found out that they have cancer and they need to start doing chemo, you'd probably be a little bit more understanding than if your editor was like, yeah, I'm just going on vacation. Bye. The reason why something happens is important. Think.
Principle to this at all. And again, I think that the best way that you can look at is an idea a good idea or a bad idea is that if everybody does this thing, would the world be able to function?
I'm going to reference something, and I don't think anyone's going to find it, but it was like this. I think it was a TikTok. It might not have been a TikTok, but there was this video where like these two people are debating, and there's like a third bystander as well. But it's two people debating about Medicare for all, or like single payer like healthcare. And the guy says, the guy that's being recorded says, yeah, I want to pay for healthcare. I want to pay for my own healthcare. And the other dude's like, you literally paid 30 grand for an ambulance the other day. And then the other guy says, yeah, and I would pay it again if I had to. And then like the other guy starts laughing. Does anyone know what video I'm talking about? If you know what video I'm talking about, please send it to me. Please, because I have a greater point I'd like to make with that.
If every single time that somebody thought that what they believe in is bad, and they thought that gave them the moral authority to protest and break the law, everything would be chaos. You could not exist in a society like that. So stop doing it. It's that simple. What do you do whenever voting doesn't matter and the government doesn't care? What do you do whenever you lose the vote? Maybe voting doesn't matter because people don't care about your issue enough. And
how do you propose we make people care about the issue?
People don't care about your issue. That doesn't give you the right to be annoying and to disrupt their lives and destroy property in the hopes that maybe they might care about your issue afterwards. That's not the way it works. This is so reductive and oversimplifying. No, it's not. And also, it is reductive, and it actually, you know what? It is. Are you breaking the law? Yes. Are you blocking the roads? Yes. Okay, then you're wrong. Did you have a permit? No. Okay, then you're wrong. It's that simple. Stop doing it. That's it.
Dude,
a lot of people say
I want the confidence that Asmongold has. It's so Jover for everyone when I have this level of confidence to say whatever I want and just like not be concerned that I'm wrong at all. It'll be so Jover, dude. It'll be so Jover. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. You measure your inconvenience to what is being protested. And if you would rather be on the other end, then you're allowed to get mad. And if you would rather not be on the other end, then you can't get mad. Which is why, like the trucker convoy, for example, people thought it was fucking stupid because it's like, would I rather be forced to have a vaccination card or be stuck in traffic? Yeah, I'd rather be forced to get a fucking vaccination card. Get the fuck out of my way. Would I rather be forced to be stuck in traffic or get genocided? You know, the traffic's really not that bad. That's really not that bad. This idea that, like, the law is morality is such a joke. It's so silly. It's so silly.
Voting doesn't work because they lose votes.
No way. Did you actually... Here's your TikTok react on that video. No way. I can't believe it. I've already reacted to it. Cucked by the American healthcare system. That's a good title.
Because I don't want freeloaders going off my health insurance.
This video. This is why I know a lot of people are like, I don't understand. Like, why do you watch Asmongold? It's because I think everybody needs a friend like this guy. Okay, everybody needs like this guy around them, and it's because he's somebody that makes everyone laugh, not necessarily intentionally.
How much did you say it was for? Shit on you real my ambulance ride to the hospital was $3,400. That's my fault, okay? And how much do you think that's what we should pay? All of it for health insurance. And I will pay it again. I'll put it on TikTok. I will pay it again.
I'll pay it again. I'm like people who are so confidently stupid. They're sure that they're right. And they're like, yeah, I paid 30 grand for an ambulance. And I was fine after and before. But I would do it again. It's like, perfect. Oh my God, yes. Yes. I love having those people around because they just make everybody else have a great time because they're down to like defend it to the ends of the earth. To the ends of the earth and back, man. Ugh.
That's what happens, guys. Imagine what would happen if every single time an election happened or something gets passed or doesn't get passed, and the people that, well, I guess I say, imagine what happens. Look at January 6th. Imagine if that happened after every single election or every single vote. This would be insane.
I'm pretty sure how insane something is just how used to it you are. I think it's actually pretty insane that we just get railed by our government on like a daily basis. We are just getting dicked on the daily and we do nothing about it. I think actually that's way more insane, that we're just fine with being in this abusive relationship with our government. That seems way more insane. It's honestly crazy to me that there aren't more protests and there aren't more there isn't more anger. Like I'm honestly genuinely shocked that people pay hundreds of dollars every day, sometimes, for medication that they need to live, and that there aren't people like lighting buildings on fire. That is way crazier, way more insane. Because it would make sense if there were buildings being lit on fire every day. I'd be like, yeah, honestly, you don't have any savings because you don't make enough money because your rent is way too fucking high because corpos own everything in this planet and your government doesn't care about you and you're drowning in medical debt. College tuition for your kids is a joke. You'll never own a house. And you're chill. You're just vibing. You're just chilling and vibing. Honestly, kind of crazy that people haven't like gone to the streets and started just like Molotov cocktailing everything. Like that to me is way more insane. That's my opinion, maybe.
The world be burning in hell. Yes, it's like nobody thinks about this at all. People could literally lose their livelihoods from being late to work. Some companies are not understanding. We weren't able to vote whether we want more tax dollars or guns to go to Israel or Ukraine, though. But you voted on the people who voted on it, though.
Do you think Asmongold knows that he's defending Osama bin Laden's manifesto? Because Osama bin Laden's whole thing was, actually, the people deserved, I do not endorse these opinions and I disagree, just fucking in case. I know I am of the Arabian ethnicity, so maybe people might be concerned. I am not a terrorist, nor have I ever associated with terrorist organizations, nor do I think murdering civilians is okay. And the people who died during 9/11, that was bad. All right. Now that we clarified that. Osama bin Laden's whole fucking thing was, actually, those Americans deserve to die because they voted in the people who bombed our countries. Just because you voted someone in doesn't mean you suddenly endorse everything that they do. That's fucking stupid. That is ridiculous. That's a joke. And that is only a stance you can take if you don't vote or you are completely disillusioned with the political system and you want to pretend like you're better than the people who are still trying to fix this country. Come on, man. You're smarter than this. Please. The mold hasn't gotten all of your brain yet. No.
You sure did.
The same thing I asked Hasan. When you guys scream at each other...
I didn't? Well, then we'll vote next time. Vote next time and get out of the road.
Oh, man. What a guy, dude. What a guy. You know how you guys know how you can like hire clowns for a party, like a birthday party, like a kid's birthday party, or you can hire like magicians for some type of like parties. I wish I could hire someone like Asmongold for a party and just like let him speak and just have everybody laugh like it's a comedy routine. That would be amazing. People would have such a good time. Like they would not stop talking about it for forever. Like just when you think the show was over, he hits you with the, go vote and stay out of the road. It's like, oh my, where can I tip you? You got Venmo? This is amazing. This is some other, wow. Wow. Bro, who am I supposed to vote for to stop the genocide? Who? Show me who I'm supposed to vote for to stop the genocide. I'm down. I'm down. I'll write their name in. Just tell me who to vote for. Just tell me. Oh, the mayor cat. Mayor cat. I'm gonna eat you. I'm gonna do it. Anyways. Jank. Yeah, just vote for Jank. Yeah. Oh, dude, put this shit with like, put any of Asmongold's video with like a laugh track on like mainstream television, cable television, and it'll do numbers. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you, untapped market. All right.